For 200 days we have waited. The 0-40 streak has remained, but tomorrow, at long last, the Overwatch League returns. 8 new expansion teams bring the total number of teams up to 20, who play 28 matches across 4 stages, for the playoffs at the end of the year will crown our Season 2 champs. As such, over the coming weeks I'll be making videos like this one, to preview the upcoming fixtures and make my predictions for the results. Without further ado, let's get right into it and look at the opening day matches for the second season of the Overwatch League. And looking at day 1, it's quite clear that Blizzard have served up a treat for all fans, as we begin with the rematch of the inaugural season grand final between the London Spitfire and the Philadelphia Fusion. Two teams that once again will be aspiring for a return to this year's finals. Some forget that despite their playoff resurgence and success, both these teams struggled towards the latter stages of the season, and appear to be teams that are rather inconsistent depending upon the meta. Therefore, this match should set up nicely to see which team feels more at home in the current meta, and whether their quality is continued from the grand finals. We move on to the next match, which puts the New York Excelsior up against the Boston Uprising. New York was seen for the majority of last season as the best team in the league, picking up 2 out of the 4 of the stage titles. However, this is a team that by the end of stage 4 and into the playoffs themselves severely struggled with the changing meta that moved players like Jonak off their preferred heroes. Boston, meanwhile, saw rapid improvement over the course of the season that led to a 10-0 record in stage 3. However, following the departure of coach Krusty to the San Francisco Shock, the overall performance of the team noticeably dipped, leading to an early playoff exit. With Huck at the reins, many are once again ranking Boston towards the bottom end of the league, while expectations are that New York should be right at the top like last year. Following this matchup, the main storyline surrounding Game 3 will be the return of Fisher with the Seoul Dynasty against his former team, the LA Gladiators. Many blame Fisher's actions at the beginning of the playoffs for their feeble exit, which in turn then led to him being traded in the off-season to the Dynasty. In his place, the Gladiators will feel they have adequately recruited in Raw, as well as adding Decay in the DPS role to strengthen the whole squad as they look for a deeper playoff run this year. Seoul, meanwhile, returns intent on righting the wrongs of last season as the most disappointing team in the league. Once considered a title favourite, multiple holes and poor performances in the later stages eventually led the team to a dismal 8th position. The team has spent the off-season filling these holes with acquisitions like Fisher and also Jesse, with the aim to reach the pedestal that most place them on going into the inaugural season. However, the big question will be on whether the old lunatic high core is still good enough to realise this team's potential, or will they continue to deflate as they did over the course of the last year. The final matchup of day 1 will be the closely watched series between the Hangzhou Spark, the first of the new expansion teams to play, versus the Season 1 0-40 Shanghai Dragons. Both fans and neutrals alike will be curious to truly see how good the Spark are following the hugely positive reception to the release of their skin colours and logo, as well as the pickups of Team China notables Gushui and Crystal. Many in the pre-season have held high hopes for this team potentially making the playoffs, and this first showing on stage could set them on the right path from the outset. However, perhaps a larger number of eyes will be on the Dragons as they head into Season 2, the team that became both the laughingstock and most fans' second team, as they went on to a historic 0-40 record. Looking to at last grab their first taste of victory, Shanghai removed many of the poor components of their old squad and reloaded, particularly recruiting from the core of Chengdu Panthera, the runners-up to Contenders Career winners Runaway. Against a team that is yet to experience true Overwatch League stage experience, will the Dragons finally cast away the shadow of last season to a 1-0 start, or will the seeds of doubt remain? Now, moving on to my actual predictions. On balance, I think this may be a meta that overall suits the Fusion a little better than the Spitfire, which should lead to a much closer match than the Grand Finals ended up being. That is why I'm going to say that Philadelphia edge London 3-2 in a game that should kick off a new season with a bang, the same way that Seoul against Dallas did last season. Whilst it may be a little early to write off the uprising, as so many did mistakenly last year, I don't believe this first game will treat them kindly either, as I'm predicting a dominant 4-0 sweep from the NYXL to get them off to a powerful start. For now, I think while Seoul are most likely to improve on last season, they're coming up against a Gladiator squad that I just see as a little stronger, so I'm going to give them the victory at this point 3-1. Now, moving on to what was the hardest of all the day one games to put my prediction for, largely down to the unknown brought by the introduction of the Hangzhou Spark. But I think with the vast increase in quality, it might finally be the Dragons' moment to end their losing run on the back of a hard-fought and nail-biting 3-2 victory. I'd just like to end by saying thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with my Day 2 preview and predictions. So be sure to subscribe for more Overwatch League content moving forward.